Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Void Dude, and this is Star Citizen's latest event, Jumptown 2.0. An official successor to the original Jumptown, which began long ago as a simple drug lab on the moon Yellow, where you could purchase a full cargo load of highly valuable space drugs and sell them for large quantities of Alpha UEC, the in-game currency for Star Citizen. The lucrative opportunities of the old Jumptown acted as a funnel for players to gather from around the Stanton system and take a gamble to trust other players at the site while you tried to make a drug haul or engage in all-out war to control the outpost. You never knew what to expect when you got there. Were there some sneaky bastards already hiding inside, ready to scatter your atoms across the moon with a railgun as you stepped through the door, or was it empty and devoid of life? And if it was, did you have enough time to fill your cargo hold with expensive space crack before someone else arrived? And if someone else arrived, what were their intentions? And so began the Jumptown Wars, a paranoia-induced nightmare for solo players, or an epic battleground for groups and organizations, all allowing for some of the best emergent gameplay Star Citizen has ever seen. The events of the original Jumptown were all community-driven, and player actions there have become officially recognized by the Star Citizen lore team and added to the canon of the game forever. Check out the fan-made documentary on the Astropub's channel if you want to learn more. Link in the description. Strangely enough, however, CIG developers have since said that the profit margins available by selling the space weed from the original Jumptown was actually a bug in the game code and was never intended to be worth as much as it was. They patched it out, and the Jumptown Wars sadly came to an end. Until now. The new Jumptown is more structured than its predecessor. When the event is live, you just accept the priority mission from the contract manager, which gives you a nav marker to the drug production facility. It can now take place at one of 3 possible moons in the system: Yela, orbiting Crusader; Calliope, orbiting Microtech; or Lyria, orbiting ArcCorp. You don't need to risk hard-earned credits to get hold of the space drugs, which are now physicalized boxes, and 1 box of maize gets produced every 30 seconds. Each box of space dope is worth over 1,600 credits or more, depending on which side of the law you're on. And so it doesn't take a mathematician to figure out you can make some serious space bank during this event, provided things don't go to hell. Here are my experiences with Jumptown 2, and up front, I'll say, this has to be the most fun you can have in Star Citizen to date. Eager to try out the new Jumptown for the first time, I hopped onto a server and noticed some random players were asking in the global chat to team up, head to the facility, and work together to maximize profits. Being new to the updated event, I joined them. If it was going to be anything like the original Jumptown, could go south at any moment, and having some buddies to absorb bullets instead of my face would be neat. We grabbed box after box after box of space gunja, while something scratched at the back of my mind. Could money-hungry strangers be trusted? After all, we would need to manually transfer the credits made to each other by selling the spacepot once a successful delivery was made, because only the deliverer would get paid for completing the mission. I had no way of knowing if they would actually split their earnings with me. I didn't even know if I would pay them when it was my time to deliver. The thought of transferring hundreds of thousands of credits to complete strangers made me sad. I could be a total and betray them at the end and keep all the tasty cheddar for myself. Why would I do such a thing? I hear you ask. Well, you see, I really want an Anvil Carrack. Finally, my new drug mule buddy, Joel Xander, decided it was time and wanted to attempt a haul. I trusted him for this long. Let's see what happens. And if he betrayed me, I would etch his name into my memory and hunt him down to the ends of the verse for all time. After a long wait, he claimed the delivery was worth about 480k. Split 3 ways, our share would be 160,000 each, if he decided to pay us. A total stranger had paid out top dollar for a bit of teamwork, moving boxes of space doobies. This was it. Time to become the Pablo Escobar of Star Citizen and get to work. Eventually, it was my turn to deliver. Furiously tractor beaming boxes of Magic Dragon into my happy van, I filled it to the brim. Maybe a bit too full. thinking things through is clearly not my strong suit. Some intense logistical maneuvering of space herb later, I was finally off for my first drug delivery.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
I had to fight the urge to not be a giant hole and keep the payout all to myself, but it was Christmas time, so I reluctantly sent my drug peddling pals their due. This was clearly a crazy good way to make money in the game, but I was not satisfied. I never wanted to send that much money to a stranger again. It hurt too much, and how would I ever afford a carrack if I kept sharing sick profits with strangers? I would need to get creative at my future trips to Jumptown. As the event kept going, a trend had started. Jumptown was either a complete war zone, or the people arriving in droves could turn out to be peaceful, and everyone would form a nice orderly conga line, helping themselves to one box of space green each, dropping the box off at their ship and returning to the queue to do it all again. Sometimes this civilized behavior would even be enforced by organizations of players with bigger ships than you, keeping the peace by force. Sorry, but I didn't travel 50 million light years across the solar system to play Q Simulator 2022. I wanted to make crazy stacks of space credits, buy myself a carrack, and live the high life as I pretend to be Captain Picard on the bridge of the USS Hemperprise, paid for by the Stanton System's booming drug epidemic. I turned to the dark side. I became a wolf in sheep's clothing, carefully watching and waiting for the opportune moment to strike. It was so simple. The boxes that I wanted inside the facility had a queue to get to them, but the boxes out here, in people's ships, had no queue. Yes, I know. I had become a dirty space thief. I had done time in Klesha before. I knew the tough life. I was now a hardened criminal who would steal from whoever the f*** he wanted. I would steal so much space blow the entire population of Stanton would be high for weeks. I would empty the cargo holds of every person who thought standing in a stupid conga line was a good idea. I would crash my rover into a moon iceberg and do an awesome but poorly timed backflip. Well, this was my life now, a life of filthy sneak thief crime. If I kept this up, surely there would be a carrack in my future. Then, one day, I had cased out a Redeemer whose owner had not returned in quite a while. Being a professional thief by this time, I made sure there was no one on board. I wrangled the spliff like a pro, got greedy and cleared the entire hold. As I worked, I noticed an opportunity for more. No, I shouldn't. Maybe. Never mind. It was time to haul ass and... oh, not again. This chop came out of nowhere and gave me a bit of a scare. Turns out he just wanted to help. Little did he know that he is an accomplice now. I noticed in global chat the owner of the Redeemer started to complain. "WTF guys," he said. "You have emptied my ship. Big fair play here." I felt bad, but he had a Redeemer, so I'm sure he'd be alright. He began brutalizing the vulnerable ships, unable to defend themselves, while their owners were inside, enjoying afternoon tea in a conga line. The owner of the Redeemer voiced his displeasure once again. "You not good, me not you retards," he said. "This, I'm out," I thought. As the missile from the off Captain No Drugs whizzed past my hull, I thought about all the people being stranded and ships being destroyed, all because I was a greedy But then I thought about how I'd be a few 100,000 credits closer to a Carrack, and I felt good again. I was eager to see what the future of Jumptown would hold. Not all my trips to Jumptown involved nauseating conga lines filled with overly friendly space hippies begging to get their cargo holds cleaned out by a master thief, or spurned Redeemer captains spitting lasers at entire servers because some jackass cleaned out his cargo hold because he left his ramp open. Some were filled with proper danger. On one particular server, it was clear that Jumptown had gone full hostile. Probably a player or claiming all the space puff for themselves. I teamed up with some random Bob who had just flown past the place and had his ship absolutely ruined. We decided we'd try to approach the site in a rover. Maybe they wouldn't be able to detect us. I don't know how detection works in this game, so perhaps neither did they. I didn't think to ask. I don't know, who cares? Off we went. We had no idea how we would get the drugs off Moon. We didn't need to know. We were bad drug runners. We would figure it out later. I didn't realize how long it would take to drive 20 kilometers on a low-gravity moon, but it certainly took a bloody minute. No championship Daymar rally drivers in this vehicle, that's for sure. After a few decades, we got just over a kilometer out when I noticed red pips appearing on the HUD. I didn't think they were here to deliver flowers, but holy sh**. Quite tell if the Cutlass was trying to pick us up or ram us to death, but I felt like a battlefield moment was within my grasp. And I hightailed it to his open ramp to jump inside. Fate kicked me in the balls and robbed me of true glory. We had no choice but to leg it from here. We spotted a ship, but no sign of the jackasses who were raining death from above earlier. I was debating with my new friend if we should murder them and take their ship, but it was already too late. It was time to get to work and grab as much naughty pumpkin as we could. I devised a plan and told my friend we'd stockpile the loot, and the next ship that arrives, we'd kill the pilot, load up the space brownies, and figure out how to sell the stuff from a stolen vehicle, and make bank. But instead, he decided to be a and invite another friend of his who would come fetch us. Not another three-way split of the profits. I was prepping our boxes for loading when the unthinkable happened. There was a 69% chance that Hercules had just given birth to an explosive baby. We had truly become a pair of unlucky sods, trapped at Jumptown while some orc decided to launch a full-blown assault. We refused to go down without a fight. We had come too far. It was like Vietnam all over again. The situation was so intense I didn't even notice the tank sitting in the Hercules cargo hold. I wanted to rush them, but my new friend advised against it, so we waited. I was saddened by my friend's death, but excited to try the drag body button. It eventually occurred to me that I could have grabbed the medigun off his corpse and tried to bring him back from the beyond to help me out of this totally situation. Instead, I panicked and threw a grenade at his corpse. It didn't help much. They tried to wait me out, but I had the patience of a 2-year-old. The airlock opened, which for some reason surprised me. And that was it. Game over. I hope you enjoyed this video. Jumptown 2 really is tons of fun, and if you're interested, it's definitely worth your time to check out. The next event will run for 48 hours on the 14th of January, so grab a drink, grab your ship, don't forget your tractor beam, and get ready for a good time. Star Citizen may be taking its sweet time, and there's a lot of bugs to deal with, but it's shaping up to be an awesome gaming experience for sure. I would like to thank my patrons for all the support. Just kidding, I'm brand new at this YouTube thing and I have no Patreons, so leave a like and subscribe for more. I have a bunch of stuff planned for the future that I think you might enjoy. See you around the verse. Cheers.